Hi Danish learner, welcome back to my channel, Danish Matters. I'm Tina Baga, your Danish friend and tutor. Today I'm talking about the English language influence on the Danish language. This is also what I talked about last week, so if you haven't watched that video, which is a bit longer than this one is going to be, then go watch that one if you're interested in this topic. Before we get started, I would like to remind you that if you would like to learn to speak Danish, then write to tina@danishmatters.dk. Now, today I'll be speaking about the word det because it has disappeared from our language. No, not quite. It is used a lot and in different contexts. So a little bit about that first. The word det is spelled D-E-T, but we only pronounce it det. And it means it. I could say det er godt. It is good, so it's good. It also means that. I could say den bog er interessant. That book is interesting. It also refers to nouns that have the word it or the article it. And I could say, for example, det nye projekt er meget stort. Yeah? I'm saying det because it's called it project. Note that I'm adding a T to my last adjective, stort. It is because of the it and because of the det with the T, yeah, that I'm adding this. I do that because it is it project, yeah. I don't do it with nye. And I said det nye projekt. I don't do it with that one because ny is in front of the noun and then it is used in the E form. That's why we add an E. So nye, yeah. So det is referring to a noun with the it article, just like den would refer to a noun with the en article, yeah. For example, en hund, a dog, yeah. I could say den er sød. It is sweet or it is cute, yeah, in a way. Den because it's en hund, yeah. So you can remember this by taking when we talk about det, you take the T from it and you put it on det, or you see it on det, yeah, D-E-T. That's why there is a T there. It's because of the it article. And when we say den, you take the N, or the N is represented in den because of the en with an N article. Yeah, that's a way to remember it. So when I asked what happened to det, it's not because it's not here, it's not there in our language, it has completely disappeared, not at all, it's used quite a lot. It is just in some connections that I've noticed, yeah? Or at least in one that I'm going to mention, because I'm talking about the English language influence in the Danish language, yeah? So, for example, let's say we're watching a cooking show, and the chef is going, hvad jeg gør er, or hvad jeg gør er at, blah, blah, blah. So, for example, hvad jeg gør er, at jeg bruger en ske. I have no idea what we're cooking now. I'm just making it up, right? It's an example. So this means what I do is that I use a spoon, right? Maybe you're thinking, okay, so what's wrong with this? Well, a lot of Danes would not be able to hear this either. So don't worry if you're saying this all the time. Maybe you're even just copying the Danes, who knows? The correct way of saying this is though, det jeg gør er, or det jeg gør er at. So not hvad or hvad, yeah, but det, D-E-T. Det jeg gør er, at jeg bruger en ske. What I do is that I use a spoon, yeah. That's just one example of how the English language is influencing the Danish language. That particular one is driving me crazy when I hear it. So that is why I'm telling you, yeah, now you can correct the Danes. The same thing goes for the use of prepositions. For example, I hear Danes say, i min erfaring, literally in my experience. And it's not all clear when I look this up in a Danish dictionary, but to the best of my knowledge, I would say efter min erfaring, meaning in my experience. We just don't use the equivalent in to in Danish. The I, we use efter, to the best of my knowledge, yeah. That said, we don't use this phrasing a whole lot, not as much as in English. We might use an entirely different word or say something completely different, like hvad jeg ved af, from what I know of, blah, blah, blah. So note that sometimes it's not just a matter of translating or translating directly and that being incorrect. It's also a matter of culture. Yeah, what do people tend to use in their language? That also goes for phrasings like han mistede livet til cancer. First off, we have our own word for cancer, kræft. Yeah. And second, we would rather say han døde af kræft. He died from cancer. Yeah. So he didn't lose his life too, he died from. Yeah. One of the worst ones I've heard is when an English word is used with Danish conjugations, but using a word that actually means something in Danish. I've heard someone say, de bannede something. So it's about banning something. So let's make up an example. De bannede rygning i virksomheden. And I would assume that the person wanted to say they banned smoking within that company. But the thing is that banne is actually a Danish word. It does exist. It's with a silent D. At banne, B-A-N-D-E. And it means to swear. So it would be the same as if saying they swore smoking in the company. It's pretty confusing, isn't it? So I think that would confuse a lot of people if you said that in English, say that English was influenced by another language. Yeah. So that was just a few examples of how the English language is influencing the Danish language. So just know that out there, especially if you're around young Danes, that they often don't speak correctly. If you want to learn proper Danish, turn to the elderly. Yeah, they have a beautiful language, and not all their words are old-fashioned, but some of them are. Yeah, just so that you know. For now, I only have left to say, happy Danish learning!